INEC for once PPC buying politicians. Then, aside from that, PDP apologizes to international community over Tinubu's Chatham House outing. No political acts to grind with Atiku, says Wiki. Then, there's another story here. Why core investors, management of discos were sacked by federal government. Then another story here, still on the on the Guardian newspaper. Youths fear job loss, protest planned closure of Chevron logistics base at One. Those stories are in Guardian newspaper. If you're interested, you check. So I still have another story here. Buhari, 44 other leaders to extract deals as US-Africa summit begins. Yeah, there's another story here. While we are studying Rwanda model to curb insurgency by Borno government. Rwanda model of insurgency. Then I'm now moving to the leadership newspaper. And aside from the headline story, which talks about 2023, Atiku Tinubu will be unveil economic security packages. Aside from that, missing 89 trillion naira stamp duty can clear Nigeria's local foreign debts. That's coming from the presidency. Yeah. And another story here that has to do with the job loss. Youth protest planned closure of Chevron base. Yeah. Messi sends Argentina to Qatar 2022 final. Yeah. So I'm now moving to the New Telegraph newspaper. I've told you the headline stories that had to do with fuel prices. Reps give NNPCL 1 week to end fuel scarcity. Then above the nameplate of, just below the nameplate of the New Telegraph, I have these stories. Power. Federal government gives banks, AMCON, 12 months to divest from discos. Then another story here. Okoa, enough of 13% funds blackmail. That is coming from the governor of Delta State. That story is on New Telegraph newspaper if you're interested. Then 2023, IGP meets operations heads of national security agencies. That's strategizing against 2023. Then another story still on the New Telegraph newspaper. 39 million children may remain undernourished over elders farmers conflict. That's coming from the federal government. The 39 million children may remain undernourished. Then another story is here. APC raises the alarm over incessant attack on members. Then there's another story here, still on the same newspaper. NCC seeks identification, elimination of risk in telecoms sector. Then there's another story here. LWB, Senate gives FAMSEC 48 hours to explain missing 113 million naira. And lastly on that newspaper, New Telegraph newspaper, 2023, I have no personal problem with Atiku. That's coming from Wiki. Then let me move to this day newspaper. The headline is there, Wiki, I will have won PDP primary if it weren't manipulated. Then just below the nameplate of this day newspaper, Alaki Onanuga's allegations, Obaibe now clears air, challenges them to present their candidate for debates. Then there's a in this day's newspaper, there's a picture showing Buhari and his delegation in Washington on U.S. Africa Leaders Summit. Then let me from there I move to Al Jazeera midweek. Aside from the allegation of budget padding, 500 billion naira budget padding, Lawan, Badiabia, Mila, Omar, Gigi fingered. Then let me see some other stories here. Senate moves to whittle presidential power on removal of EFCC chair. That story is on Al Jazeera midweek if you are interested. Another story on the same paper, federal government to designate Ogun Agro-Cargo Airport Export Terminal for non-oil products. That is coming from the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun. And there's another story here. Stakeholders advocate removal of fuel subsidy. Then another story that has to do with politics here. 2023. Secure your future by voting credible leaders. ABGA candidate urges youth. Yeah, I also have another story here coming from Sokoto State. Police parade 8 suspects in connection with banditry, kidnapping. Then I have another one with me here. 1 year on, Eagle aircraft later Lagos airport. Then I'm still on Al Jazeera midweek. Amid scarcity, custom impounds 33,390 liters of PMS. Yeah. Then I have another story here. Still on the same newspaper, police present 18 million naira checks to families of deceased officers in Kebbi. Then this has to do with rail transport. E-ticketing, NRC laments inability to verify NIN. And from there, I move to the Tribune newspaper, the last for today. The headline reads, Reps give NNPC 7 days to end fuel scarcity. Task NMDPRC, DSS, police to enforce regulated price. Decry high cost of living in 17-year high of 21.09% in October 2022. Then, aside from the headline stories, I also have another story here. Abuse Naira, go to jail, CBN warns. And that is on the page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. Then another story here, large turnout as EFCC auctions 80 forfeited cars in Ibadan. That's on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune. Then I have this one from the monarch of Ibadan land. Olubadan denies endorsing Obi. Then another story on the above the nameplate of Nigerian Tribune. Between 2015 and 2022, national grid collapsed 98 times. That's coming from the Senate president. Gives reasons why Senate is probing concession of Sumberu power plant. Then aside from that, there is another story here. Attack on INEC offices, threat to democratic governance in Nigeria. That's coming from Army, from Nigerian Army. So, then Nigerians lament delays divided over process of PVC collection. Want distribution of PVCs at world level. That story is a Nigerian Tribune. Then, lastly, before I go, I have this one coming from Ekiti, arising from Ekiti Assembly crisis. Harry Bishop Gon, 2 others petition IGP over alleged threat to life. demand full police protection. Yeah, viewers at home, this is where we are going to end it up today. I apologize once again because my guest is unable to feature on the program this morning. But tomorrow is another edition of Newspapers Today, when we bring you a fresh edition that will be presented by another of my colleagues. Until tomorrow, I am Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.